Where did you get the idea for the song?
Perfectly simply because me and my friend Roger went out on that fateful day in April 15th, 1989. When got ourselves in the crush in Hillsborough, like everybody else was there, but we survived, luckily for us, and effectively we came home and found after the press reports about these, which is like the whole thing about the Sun's article, The Truth, which was on top of what had already happened to us in the Injustice, because we knew it was the police. Everybody was there on the day. Everybody involved knew it was the police, and nobody could believe it. It'd be a long story to go into all that, you know, the whole thing. But it's essentially, you know, Roger and I are survivors.
Jesus, yeah.
And so we had the idea for the song immediately because of that. And it wasn't that we first thought of writing a song, but I think we both had different ways. Yeah, we both had some problems with the what came out from the Sun in the article, which was just an absolute outrage and disgusting. And Roger got very, very angry. I had the idea. I was probably sitting up late at night, you know, a couple of days later, and my reaction to it was, and the reason I called it Moon on the Mersey was, which was my idea. I said, you know, isn't it crazy that, you know, that the moon bothers to shine on Liverpool? You know, I mean, you know, it was that sort of thing, like, because the way they were talking about it and the kind of stuff, the drivel that they were coming out with about how everybody was in Liverpool was this, that, and it was bigotry. I mean, if we
racism.
If Scousers was Scouse was a race, then it would be racism. Yeah, but it's pretty true to call it racism. Dreadful bigotry, and I was just like, you know, my reaction was, you know, well, you know, the moon's still shining on us. You know what I mean? It's like, and I said that to Roger. And I said, look, you know, we've got this idea, a song, you know, it's about like the moon shining on Liverpool. You know, why does it bother? You know, kind of thing. And he went, yeah, I know what you mean. And he came back and he wrote a reaction, a riposte to the Sun. In England's third world corner, beyond the North Divide, an ugly city crouches there with nothing but its pride. Brilliant. And it's very interesting that a lot of the words that have been spoken about subsequently in the last week or so since this has all come out, people have talked about pride and solidarity in the way, you know, there's a sort of brotherhood and sisterhood in the city where
togetherness,
and everybody sticks together. And it's by and large true. We've got some idiots in the city as well. I mean, every city's got idiots, so it's not,
street festival.
you know, you can't really, I mean, every city's got that. You've got it everywhere, so you can't characterise a city, you know, like that. I mean, but you can characterise as a large extended family, and that's so. Anyway, the whole stem of this idea for the song is just a reaction to the vile lies and the dreadful treatment of people who were bereaved.
Yeah.
So that's it, really.
And when did he come up with the idea to record it? Actually,
a couple of days ago, wasn't it? I don't know I don't even know what date we're at now. last Wednesday, the Hillsborough Independent Justice, family,
papers were released and Cameron apologised, etc.
That all came out, and I think by Friday, obviously the whole thing being in my mind, and it was, for me in some ways it was like going back there, the way everybody was talking about it, and it was like going back, it took me straight back to almost like the days after it had happened. And so this song came to my mind because it hadn't been on my mind for a very long time. I tried, maybe after the first 10 years of writing it, I tried a few times to bring it out, but I'd never bring myself to play it publicly. Never did. Never thought that anyone would understand. I think the lyrics sound vile unless they're in a context of what they meant, and I think that so many of everybody, and we also, I guess, we have this thing, probably survivor's guilt is like the idea that that you sort of somehow feel guilty for causing it, and that's part of what the blaming the fans and the ones that survive it, like
traumatic, isn't it?
sort
It's
of
a
carried.
post-traumatic stress.
Well, yeah, that's what they call it now, I guess, and it's anyway. The idea is that it just suddenly feels that I can sing this song now, and not just me, for Roger as well. Roger's kept very, very quiet about this for a long time, and I don't know. He suddenly felt like there's a little bit of a burden lifted off him because of this. And so I thought let's put our song out there. And my idea was just to put it out there, and because I thought that if somehow I guess the families are going to need some money for the the legal proceedings and stuff, and if we could just and then I was hoping to try and galvanise some of the musicians to get round in it, and to try and have it almost like a Liverpool family community project, and see how many people we can get into it. So maybe there's some, and that's, I mean, it sort of begs the question: who do I think I am? But I just thought I could try it. There's no harm in trying. So that's what I.
Well, it struck literally a chord, hasn't it?
And a lot of people have been onto it and said, "Yeah, do it. You've got to do this. You've got to do this." And I'm like, "Well, okay. Well, everyone's saying it, so let's do it." And and if nothing comes of it, that's fine as well. But at least Roger and I will have put on record what we felt at the time, because I've never been able to do it otherwise. It's only since last Wednesday that we felt able to.
Yeah, that was the 12th of September. It was a day etched in everyone's minds. And when did he actually post it? Was it Saturday on Facebook?
Yeah,
that was the idea.
Because it was Friday night.
Yeah, 15th. Yeah,
it was Friday night, late on Friday night. I went to a friend of mine's. His daughter's leaving for university, and she was having a little party, and I went over to his house, for a while, and I was playing some songs, and I was driving home afterwards, and the whole lyric came, like pouring water into my mind.
While you were driving, or while you were in the party?
when I was just driving home, and when I got home, I got the guitar, and by Saturday morning I posted and actually played the song at the Kappa pub, and it was, which was kind of like scary because I didn't know it.
And I
thought this could go terribly right, anyway, but it got some of the lyrics. I don't think that all the whinging scousers are gathered in the bars. It was a big cheer went up. So it is
classical.
It is sinking home with a lot of people as well. Yeah, I mean, it kind of, like you say, strikes a chord.
It's really
strikes a chord.
So what's the next step then? You're getting everyone brainstorming on Facebook, aren't
that's
you?
pretty much all it is. I'm not. Like everything else I do, I'm just making it up as I go along. I've had the idea. I thought, okay, I'll try and put the song back together the way that I think it should be. I've made a couple of little edits and arrangement things that I think, at least with the benefit of hindsight and being a bit older and more experienced with music, I think that I haven't altered the melody. I've done nothing to it really. I just made a couple of amendments to my original thinking that I think are just slight improvements.
So you're going to record a demo tomorrow, Tuesday.
Well,
are you going to post it tonight?
Well, the first thing I'm going to record this today. I'm going to put this out.
Oh, great!
And let people hear it, and just and let's have some people's reactions to it, and let's see. And then tomorrow we'll do more, a more comprehensive demo. We're going to bring a double bass in, and we'll maybe bring in a flute. I've got other friends who there's a great violin player who plays electric violin, a guy called Ed Elaine Johnson, who's Ed. Well,
he's got a purple.
Yeah, that's Ed. Well, I think Ed will maybe take some of the melody line. I think you can hear this melody line here that is sort of written at the top end of it. Let me just take that drum out, because that's really supposed to be a line that I might have Ed play.
Yeah, fantastic. And your bass player from Amazing, Kappa, he's the guy on the double bass, is he? What's his name?
Martin's going to come play. But also, I've got another friend, a very good friend, Danny Thompson, who used to play with John Martin and Pentangle and Nick Drake and all that.
Oh yeah.
One of the best bass players in the world, and I haven't asked him yet. I'll probably speak at a time. I'm going to ask him to play on this. And then there's the hope that we can persuade the Philharmonic Orchestra to get slightly involved.
Ah, that'd be great.
If they would, in some or any capacity. And then there's the potential to have I mean, I just think it'd be great. You know, you could have a choir. You know, the choir of the Philharmonic. You know, singing the chorus if you like.
I saw James at Christmas, and they done a tour with an orchestra and a choir, and reinterpreting songs like "Laid" and "Sit Down." It was just phenomenal. So that I mean, just imagine Moon on the Mersey with an orchestral backing. It
could. I mean, I'll say it could. I mean, only if people were, you know, if we could persuade people to get involved in it, would be a useful thing. And I think, and another great thing is that I've got friends in America.
Yeah, no, on your Facebook page.
Yeah, who obviously, the guy that made our record for us, Chris Rodostis, is.
What's the record? It's the
Rodeo Locomotive, the album that we made that mostly in America.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and Chris has been on to me, you know, today and last night and said, look, you know, I'll record and master and do the stuff. So they're
behind it, yeah.
They're behind it because they understand as well, and they're you know.
I said Namubu, the site that we both know, Rob Taylor, one of the directors. You know, we've got 7 million members.
Yeah, that's right.
We post it there, and
that's what I'm hoping to do. I mean, the first protocol will be to post it there. You know, rather than say SoundCloud, I'll post it on Namubu a bit later.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And that'll be just and hopefully, and maybe there's people there who can you know. I mean, the idea.
It could go global, actually.
And you've had
big.
You've had some.
It'll come out of Liverpool without doubt. It could come out of the UK as well.
It would be nice to think. I mean, and it's. The trouble is, it's not really an anthemic song. It's kind of it's got a sort of.
The lyrics are anthemic, aren't
they? Yeah, I guess it could be. I mean, it could be done in different ways. The way I've gone about this, I think, is probably. You know, it's a little bit. I won't say it's depressing. It's melancholy, and it's got a melancholic.
Yeah.
You know, thing. But it could be done a lot. And you sort of said this before, where you could pass the stems out to people, and you can have remixes, and people can do other things with it, and.
An album full of different versions, couldn't you?
Yeah, if that happened, and I say the other thing is I don't want it to go out in the press. I mean, it's like at the moment.
I don't think you're going to need the press. The press will pick up on it through the word of mouth. I think this will grow through the internet and through the support groups for the justice for.
That's what you like. I mean, it would be great if it was a piece of music that would just.
I can see it playing at Anfield, I can see it playing at Liverpool, I can see it, it's like, you talked before about Anthemic, it may be not a 60, summer of 69, but, Ian Prowse's, last train leaving from Mersey.
Does this train stop on Mersey?
It wasn't an anthemic melody, but certainly the lyrics were, and I think this is as well. Really good.
Really good. It's one thing I tend to think what's anthemic is if you can imagine the cop singing it. Now I'm struggling to imagine the cop singing with a pale and translucent light. I mean, I'm not saying they can't, but it's just I'm having trouble picturing it somehow. It's a bit like
Couldn't know how to spell it.
It's not. It's just the guttural. It's the guttural sound of the cop. Which is the one thing that strikes you. It's like when I was at St George's Plateau and there's for the 96 justice, and it's like they've got the sound, and I'm thinking pale and translucent light it hasn't got that kind of guttural sound. What they do is they take tunes that are popular and they just put their own words to them because it works best for them. Doing that. And I've sung enough of them on the cop myself, so but I can't. I just couldn't see this tune being one of those that the cop would adopt as a tune that they would sing. It just hasn't got that. I think if they did it, they'd have to. And this might be an interesting thing. You might be just pass it on to some of the lads who because they've always got a committee who are responsible for coming up with these songs. I'm sure somewhere there's a pub where they meet and go right.
We're going to dissect this song. Yeah.
It'll be Jamie Carragher's dad or something going da 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 da. Let's do Johnny Cash or something. They must get it organised from somewhere. So I think just I'm pipe dreaming here, but if that went on, they just have to.
Phenomenal, yeah.
They'd have to make up their own words for it, I think.
And the idea would be to sell the final mix, and the profits go to justice.
That's all that's all I sort of care about with it.
Well, that's brilliant.
The idea that And I've heard a few other ideas. I mean, people talking, everyone's talking about stuff, and somebody said to me the other day, you know, why don't we sue the Sun for libel? Because I thought, yeah, that would close them down for good, wouldn't it? That would be the end of them. If everybody who'd been affected by that has sued them for libel, they'd be finished. And I thought, I wonder if the laws allow for that. I wouldn't, you know, because it's passage of time and all that.
Mass action, yeah.
It might be, mass action, but it might be that there may be not a time limit on libel, like might be with other things, and I just wonder that, you know.
Again, you're gonna have supportive, like Mike Mansfield at QC was on the TV saying, you know, how horrendous this cover-up was, and you know, someone like him would give you free advice, wouldn't he? You know, give the committee free advice.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't just me. It would be like, obviously, just like just something that you could just hit the sun with.
Yeah.
And say, you know, because
there was a campaign, wasn't there? To
people said, sorry, it's
just
not good enough, you know.
But it needs to be resurrected, doesn't it? Because yeah, they've apologised, but the damage is done, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's a bit like saying, you know, if some corporate guy had embezzled 40 million quid or something like that, and he got caught, they wouldn't say to him, you know, do you want to apologise for that? And go, well, I'm so sorry to all the people who lost all the money and all the savings, and now, you know, and all the people who lost their houses on account of me, you know.
I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry. They wouldn't they go after him?
Absolutely.
You know,
it's not enough,
he'd be brought to book. So just saying sorry is just not, you know, because it's easy to say. I saw Boris Johnson, or Alexander Boris de Fifel Johnson, as his name is. I saw him saying,
is he part of the Bullingdon Club? Is he?
Yeah, he's Oxford Bullingdon Club boy. I don't know whether he is, but he looks like
he looks a bit like it.
Yeah, like him and
part of the club. Yeah.
Gideon Osborne or Chancellor, you know, that sort of thing. But you know, they're all. You know, you can see them apologising. You can see them like the body language going, I'm not actually apologising at all.
No,
I'm just, you know,
I've got to do this.
I've got to say
and it'll go away, but it won't go away. And things like this project, will ensure it won't go away. So
yeah, I just want to make sure it doesn't go away, because it's like, you know, if the Duchess of Cambridge or whatever her name gets a tits out or something like that, now it's, you know, that's off. You know, we're off the news agenda. Well, yeah. I wonder if she did it deliberately now.
That's take the press away from the '96.
That's how cynical you can start getting about it's going on.
They'll invade.
Kate, get around with you.
They'll invade Iran to get it off the front pages. You know.
But it's, you know, it's such a gross cover-up. And you know, what could surprise you? I mean, you know, I'm not. Obviously, that's a bit far-fetched, or, you know, maybe it isn't.
Maybe it's not. No, I think joining in on the Facebook page or your Facebook page, Paul Kappa, would be good for people to brainstorm ideas of how they can build this beast that's started off. I think we could, as a community, you know, this could be a really big project, couldn't it?
But I think one of the things, I mean, and I might be wrong about this, but I mean, in all the years when the families have been struggling, I've kind of stood by as an onlooker, kind of going, I really would like to help, but I mean, it's a bit like, you know, I mean, they're taken to the inquiry and the coroner's verdict and all that, and you kind of go, well, it's in the hands of a lawyer, you know, and it's like, what do you do? I mean, there may have been things that I could have done, but I probably maybe didn't know about them all. But I'm thinking about the things that I could proactively do, and this is the only thing I can think of. This is the only thing I've got that I could throw in.
That's perfect though, isn't it? Because that, like, you know, I remember Band-Aid, Bob Geldof talking to a seed of an idea, seeing the Michael Burke news item on Ethiopia, and tears pouring down his eyes, phoning up his mate in the jaw, and the rest is history. You know, Live Aid, 148 million, whatever was raised.
I wouldn't put this in the category of Live Aid, because I mean this is affecting. I mean, with Live Aid, we talk about, like, you know, a whole country and part of a continent, you know, dying of starvation. You know, so but. All right, on. I'll see you in a minute then. Yeah, my son's just started school.
Oh, is he liking it?
I think so, yeah.
I'll turn it off then.
Whoever coming in. Is it the second green bar on the top?
That's it there. That's the melody there.
Okay.
So it's always, I'm always going to give it a bar then.
Alright.
All the witches scouse.
Brilliant.
In the can?
Yeah, that one's done definitely.
It's just all the bits in between that I don't know.
Just think folk, it's C's, F's and G's.
I know.
It's all the simple stuff.
That's what you say, you need a copy and paste merchant, is that what you
Paul's playing an embellished version.
All the witches scousers.
And if you should change that and make it more like the original.
So you're recording it in sections, yeah?
Well, I have to because he doesn't know the tune.
Yeah.
We'll spend all day teaching him otherwise, and then you might as well do it like this.
I just record a chorus and then just copy paste it and record a verse and so on.
We've done whole albums like that.
Yeah. That's how they all do it, isn't it?
But we've kind of we're like a backlash against it for the last 2, but we'll do it live. You know, we'll do it as live as we can. We'll get the rhythm section down. We've done stuff together.
Does the lady play with a click track, or she doesn't need one? Or?
We didn't. Oh, we did use one last year. We did use one for the last album.
Right. Because it's just yours. It's got to be right, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's the thing. You probably know yourself. It's working out the tempos. We've sat there with songs going, and we've just put, like, say, this is 96, which obviously Paul's done for the 96.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'd be sitting there with the tempo going, 96 isn't quite right, but say 98 was. Everyone goes, oh, that feels right.
Yeah.
How can you explain that?
Wasn't that a brilliant idea that the beats per minute on the songs 96?
It works as well.
Yeah.
And it works, yeah. But I just think that's phenomenal.
Yeah. 3 minutes and 6.
Yeah, I know. The timing. Absolutely fantastic.
All the witches scousers are gathered in the bars.
It's a classic.
All that stealing cars. BBC come all the